Pause for my momentary book freak out. Enjoy.
Oh my god, this book is so fucking sad. I have not cried this much reading the book in a really long time. I hate this, and it's not even over yet. I'm not even done reading it. I'm so mad at this, but I need to finish the damn book.
Okay, now that you're back from me sobbing like a baby for a while, I need to tell you about Kristi Cunning's 4-book series of I think it's called The Dark Side. I can't remember what the actual series is called now. But either way, it starts off with 4 psychos, then it goes on to 3 trials, then 2 kingdoms, and finally 1 apocalypse. These books were so fucking funny. Like, if you love a good rom-com, you're gonna love these. If you like a kind of dark, slightly darker romance, you're gonna love these. If you like spice, you'll love these. They don't have an over amount of spice. They are not as spicy as what I usually read, but though the moments are fewer and farther between at times, the spice is spicing. So they're fantastic though. These books are about a girl who finds out that she's just kind of manifested in front of these 4 guys, and she's just watching their lives take place over a 5-year span. She goes with them everywhere. They can't see her. Then all of a sudden one day, poof, they freaking can. And guess what? They don't know what the hell to do with this little weird ghost girl who is making weird 90s puns that she's not even doing correctly. Okay? Moving on to the fact that they can only have the stiffies if they're in the same room together. Like, they can't have intercourse by themselves, but all of a sudden this ghost girl who's now suddenly appeared, they can do it by themselves now, but only with her. And these books take so many different turns. I was not expecting what happened, and as you can kind of gauge from the book's titles, spoilers coming for book 1 at this point because I'm going to move on to book 2, they find out that they need her in hell. Like, they are going through these trials to try and become the best, like, soul reapers that they possibly can. And in order to do that, they have to go through these trials. Well, guess what? She inadvertently kind of joins them in these trials, but nobody can see her when she's in the ghost girl mode. Except for them. So everybody thinks that they're just freaking talking to themselves. She is, of course, a jealous, batshit crazy woman over these 4 guys that she watched for years. And anytime a woman comes anywhere near them, like Lilith or Hera, she loses her freaking shit. So the trials are rather funny to watch. And then going on a little further, coming into book 3, so spoilers for book 2 now. They are the 4 horsemen in the apocalypse. That is exactly who they are. She is the daughter of Lucifer, and she is facing the end of the world that comes at her behest. But unfortunately, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on, and there's an unforeseen enemy on the horizon that she has no idea about, because everybody thought she was dead permanently, because apparently she has lived many, many lives with her 4 horsemen, and she lived and died a very true death at one point that nobody thought she'd ever come back from. Well, lo and behold, here the fuck she is, and she's here to mess up some shit and make some really bad hell puns and wear some funny costumes at the same time, and still be a badass as Paka, the Apocalypse. And moving on from there, you're going to go to book 4, where you actually find out more about Jahl, I think is how it's pronounced, Jahl, and the craziness that he has put the world, purgatory, hell, and heaven on. He has tilted everybody on their access because he is in this pure place where he is just a pure set of evil. He is worse than Lucifer. And nobody has the memories that they were able to hold on to in previous lives, because once Paka died, she had a true death, and then the 4 horsemen suffered a death as well. So they lost all their memories of their previous lives. They can't understand anything that's going on. They don't have any memory of the people or what's going on. So they have to go by the journals and weird ramblings of the original Apocalypse. And she didn't make any more sense than the new one. But this book is the one that had me crying because of how sad I felt at times, because she talks so much about the love that she felt for these guys and how they don't share the love for her, and how as long as they're there for her at the end of the day and they don't give in to anybody else, that she'll love them more than they could ever possibly love her. And it's so sad to think of it that way. But in a lot of ways, it's true. And you'll find that out when you read this book. But the power behind the love that this group of 5 actually shares is so mesmerizing and so beautiful. And the banter is just so freaking funny. And the internal monologues that she goes on are very relatable. Unfortunately, I related to the Apocalypse a little too much. But definitely give these a read, because the ending is where you are going to want to rip apart the book, paste it back together just like your heart, because it will rip it apart, and then at the end, you'll just have to find out what happens. If you want to know whether or not there is a happily ever after, post it in the comments and I will comment below yours letting you know, just that way those who don't want to know if the happily ever after occurs during the final chapters of this book, you can find out when you read it, because this will forever be a series of books that I wish that I could read for the first time all over again, because it actually made me feel a lot more emotions than I anticipated going in, especially given how much it made me laugh. But it made me cry just as much, it seems. Please read Kristi Cunning's 4 Psychos, 3 trials, 2 kingdoms, and 1 apocalypse, because there will only ever be one true apocalypse. Happy reading, lovelies!